If Johnny's in front of you and he's got a basketball and you're going to guard him, how are you going to do it? The kid's going to he's going to jump into an athletic position, okay? So from the feet up, hitting wise, we want an athletic position, and that's our feet just a little wider than our shoulders, okay? So my feet are wider than my shoulder, and my feet are sticking across home plate, okay? Now my feet naturally stick out, so I got to kind of force them in, because I'm a Sioux foot, whatever. And so toes pointed across the plate, I'm a little wider. Then I go to my knees, and I got a little flex in my knees. Okay, so feet, knees. What's the next one? Our hips. Okay. Now we're not leaning over, but there is just a slight little bend in our waist. Okay, slight bend in our waist. Now we go up to our shoulders. I'm right-handed hitter. The pitcher's this way. My front shoulder is tucked maybe just slightly. Okay, I'm not even doing my hands right now. So I got my feet. I'm well balanced, a little wider. I got the flex in my knees, a little flex in my hips, and my shoulder is tucked just a little bit down and in. Okay, not too much. You want to be leaning over here. All right. So a good balance. Now I go to my head. I'm not trying to look at this picture with one eye. All right, I'm not trying to. Two eyes. You want to see with both your eyes. So the depth of field is good. So my head is straight up and looking right there. Okay. That is a basic batting stance as far as from the feet on up. Okay. Now our hands. I can just relax. When I grip the bat, this is huge. If you grip the bat wrong, you're going to swing the bat wrong. Knocking knuckles. There's your knocking knuckles and there's your punching knuckles. You want your knocking knuckles to be lined up. They could be a little bit slightly off, a little bit off, or lined up. Okay? You'll never go wrong that way. If they have their punching knuckles though, if they're lined up,
they're too tight.
Now they're not. You can't swing the bat. If you swing the bat, it's just like this. Okay? Knocking knuckles. Now your hands are loose, okay? So you have them grab the bat, line up those knocking knuckles, have them get that little athletic, and you can have them bounce, have some rhythm, you gotta have rhythm to hit. Just have them stick that bat right out in front of their chest, right out here. Just right there, and then have them bring it back to their back shoulder, and then just drop the head back a little bit. That right there is as basic, solid, hitting position, hitting stance, okay, the beam, okay? Now hitting the ball a little bit more difficult, okay? What's beyond that, but to put them in that fundamental batting stance to start off with is very simple for you to do, okay? Now the reason I teach that to little kids, and I've done that for years, is because of what we talked about earlier, fundamentals, having a firm base. You have got to have a firm base. Now I know you'll turn on the TV, you'll turn on Fox and stuff, and you'll see guys that are, you won't see them anymore, but there's Julio Franco, and there's guys like this, and there's guys like this, and there's guys that hold the bat down here. Everybody kind of holds it, but every one of those guys has a solid foundation. Okay, it's like building a house. Okay, there's a ranch house, there's a Tudor, I have an old Victorian, there's a colonial, there's different houses, right? But their foundation's all the same. Okay? It's probably just a square foundation. And what you build on top of that foundation is what? It's kind of your style, right? Well, good hitters have a solid foundation, but then they may have their own little style. Little kids don't need the style right now. Okay. They need the foundation. Okay, so it's very important that you teach them just that solid, and there's nothing wrong with this batting stance right here. Shoot, I look like I can hit, right? Until they throw a slider. Then I don't hit so well. Okay? But all those guys you see that are holding bats different, the one thing that they all good hitters have in common is when that ball is right here, when that ball's released and it's right about here, every one of those guys, every good hitter is going to be right there. And it doesn't matter how they start. You can start on the top of your head. Right? You can stand on your head if you want. But you better be in a hitting position when that ball comes into the hitting zone. So if you can just remember those keys, starting with the feet, going your knees, waist, shoulders, your head, and then your hands, and you'll put those kids in just a nice, comfortable stance, and then they can move on from there where they actually, they swing the bat. And that's where it gets a little bit more difficult. But if you can get them to throw just a couple keys, try to figure out what key works best for a kid. How to communicate the same thing. We could be talking about the same thing, but we may say it in totally different terms, but we're saying the same thing. And Johnny may understand what I'm saying, and Tommy doesn't. But Tommy understands him. So if you could find just some key terms, like the knob of the bat at the ball, throw the knob of the bat at the ball so he comes through in a good position, his hands come through, or throw your back hip, which means when he's going to swing, he's going to throw that back hip, boom, that hip's going to come through so he gets his bottom half, instead of saying squash the bug or something like that. Have him throw his back hip, all right? Because you really don't want him squashing the bug, because you kind of stay, you want to be going through. So if you throw the back hip, that back toe will come off the ground, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just look at baseball cards, look at pictures of hitters at the point of contact, and show your kids that, so they can see it. See, this is where you want to get. I tell you what, if the kid's an athlete, he's going to catch on. He's going to maybe they call them naturals, Kid's an athlete, he's going to be able to do some things. If the kid's not an athlete, he's probably never going to hit. But you can show him the right way and work with them. Because unfortunately, there's a process of elimination in the game of baseball, and it's because it's very difficult. But from the feet on up, if you can remember that and start those kids off right, stick a tee right out there. Don't stick that tee on the plate. Stick it out in front of the plate, because we don't hit the ball back here. We hit it out in front. So use tees as much as you can. Tony Gwynn used a tee every single day, and I think he's the best hitter ever. And so tee. And if they say, "Oh, this is tee balls," no, it's not. This is how you learn to hit and stuff. So you piggyback on that.
I'll just talk a little bit about what I was saying inside, guys, about outfield play. Another thing you want to make sure when you're in the outfield, when you catch the ball. Once again, like I say, you want to, first of all, you see a lot of plays at home plate, guys throwing the ball from the outfield. But generally speaking, you're not going to throw very many guys out from the outfield. The guys, when they're throwing somebody out, that means they're playing in a little closer to take it away. But generally speaking, you're not going to throw a whole lot of guys out. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get the ball back to the cutoff man as quick as possible. One of the really important things that a lot of guys have problems with is that communication. So what we try to tell our kids is that, to say, if you see the center fielder, he's the captain out there. So he'll say if a ball's between the outfielder and the infielder, the outfielder has precedence over the infielder. So how you communicate is that you want to say, "I got it, I got it, I got it." Because especially when you get up in the big league ballparks and you hear the fans and they're screaming and they're doing all this, you see a lot of collisions. So always make sure that the kids communicate with each other and say, "I got it, I got it, I got it." The other guy can say, "Take it, take it, take it," something like that. And once again, like I said, when you catch the ball, you want to catch the ball up above your head. You want to catch it on your throwing arm side, whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Because what happens is, if you saw, there was a play last night. It was a little different, but the guy caught the ball over, the infielder caught the ball over his head, and then he caught the ball with his bare hand, and the ball dropped out of his hand. And he caught it with his bare hand to make the last out. And the point I'm trying to make there is that if you whenever you can, if you catch the ball over your head, you always have a chance. Maybe if the ball pops out to maybe try to catch. But if you catch the ball down here or something like that, and the ball pops out, you have no chance. So whenever you can, always make sure you catch the ball with two hands and catch it on your throwing side. And make sure the guys communicate all the time. And like I said, just a couple little things. If this is the fence, so if I'm running and I know the fence is right there, I know I have 3 steps till I get to that fence. So I feel for the fence, then I find the baseball. And then I do what I have to do. If you don't want to, here again, you don't want to just drift like this, drift like that. That's when guys run into the fence, because they don't know where they are. So make sure they know where they are in the outfield, know what the ball's going to do off the fences and things like this, okay? Those are just a couple other little things that I had. Just a few things what Noah said about the hitting. First of all, guys, hitting is the hardest thing to do in sports. Hitting a baseball is the most hardest thing to do in all sports. You gotta take 2 round objects, baseball and the bat, you gotta make them be squarely. Pete Rose said that, Mr. Pete Rose. Pete said you gotta make them be squarely. So, so going into it, guys, what's considered a great hitter? What's the average that they kind of go by to see if a guy's a great hitter?
300 over.
310.
What does that mean? What does 300 mean?
That means you're getting out 70% of the time.
You're making 70, you're getting out 70% of the time. So going in, it's hard. The great hitters are only getting 3 hits out of 10. So once again, like what you're saying, so it's very, very important, guys, to know these things and to have the right mental approach, to have the right stance up there. What I try to teach our guys is there's basically 3 things that you want to know to become a good hitter. You have hand-eye coordination. I can't teach that. That's up to mom and dad. That comes from you. But the other 2 things I can teach them how to have rhythm, and teach them how to have balance. So you can't have good rhythm, as Noah said about talking about rhythm. You can't have rhythm if you're not in good balance. So it's very, very important to be very balanced at the plate when you go up there to hit. Keep your weight on the balls of your feet. Don't rock back on your heels and things like that. And you see nowadays you're seeing these guys, this new launch angle, and a few years ago guys started lifting their legs saying they get more power and stuff. But you have to remember one thing about that. A hitter, they might have different numbers now, but you have about 0.3 of a second to react to a pitch ball. Now these guys are throwing 100 miles an hour fastballs and 78 miles an hour change-ups. So you want to be in a good position to hit all those pitches. So if you're not in good balance, you don't have any rhythm, you're not going to be able to adjust to all those pitches. So once again, remember, make sure they have themselves in good balance. And after they get the balance, as what you're saying, after they learn how to get themselves in good balance, then you teach them on the rhythm part of it. Because here again, and like I said, you only have 0.3 of a second to react to a pitch ball. And what happens when you lift that foot? You got to, what I call, I don't particularly like it. It's the style now. I don't particularly like. I call it playing Russian roulette, because 5 times you're too soon, 6 times you're too late, 3 times you're on time, 8 times you're too soon, 9 times you're too late, 5 times you're on time. So it's just a guessing thing. And the smart pitchers, their objective, the pitcher's objective is to keep you off balance. So by doing all these things, by leaving gravity and doing all these things, you're doing half his job for him. The good That's why you see all. Okay, you guys hear all this stuff about launch and all this stuff. Ward, my buddy over here, he gave a good example. This is a guy who's a good example. Gallo for Texas. This guy, in a couple of years, he had 51 base hits, 55 home runs, and 280 something strikeouts. I mean, if you want to be that top hit, when we play, you long gone. You be long gone. So don't worry so much about the power right now, guys. Teach them how to be a good hitter first. And always tell them, keep pounding in their head, hey, and if you do have power, you want to be a good hitter that has power. You guys have the best guy right here, Cabrera, best in the game. He's getting a little old, slowing down a little bit, but best in the game. So that's what you want to do. You don't just want to be a power hitter like Gallo, because this guy's striking out 280 sometimes. What that's telling me is that there's a whole lot of time, but the bases are loaded. Our men in scoring position, he's striking out. I'd rather pitch to that guy than somebody like a Trout who's making more contact, the guy who's hitting 330. So once again, so remember that. So always tell him to be a good hitter first, and then worry about let the power take care of itself. And remember, 3 out of 10, you're making 7 outs. You're making 7 outs, guys. So this game is predicated on failure. Predicated on failure, so that's, and once again, also hitting is the hardest thing to do in baseball. You don't know what's coming, and you might hit the ball, you might do everything right, hit around the button, somebody jumps over the fence and catches it, infielder dives and catches it, so that makes it even tougher. So with that 3 out of 10, what I try to tell my guys, I'll finish on this, what I try to tell my guys is that and 3 out of 10 is a great hitter. So the more solid contact you can make, now if you can make 7 solid contact 7, 8, 9 times out of 10, now your chances of getting those 3 hits are greater. But if you're only making solid contact 3, 4, 5 times out of 10, you're gonna hit like look at these batting averages now. 180, 190, 200, 210. That's not being a good hitter. So, you know, I was talking earlier, what's happening out in baseball, guys, you know, this home run thing, this launch thing, I don't think it's going to last very long, because these pitchers are learning how to pitch these guys and, you know, to get these guys out. So this launch thing is not going to last. So make sure that they, you know, that they have that in their mind, that, you know, how tough hitting can be, and have confidence in yourself. But get those fundamentals down and learn to be a good hitter that has power. Okay? And as long as you keep reinforcing that to them, you know, they'll have a chance. So by the time they're 16, 17, 18 years old, as Noah said, they'll have all those, you know, correct from the stance and all that stuff. I've gotten guys at AAA that didn't even know how to grip the bat. AAA, step from the big league. Actually, one of my biggest guys, he turned out to be a good ball player. He's the first base coach for Baltimore right now, Wayne Curry. He had no clue how to hold the bat. And he got to AAA. I'm saying, how the heck can you get to AAA and you don't even know how to grip the bat? And they're in our staff meetings. They're talking about the mental stage of the game. And he said, Vaughn, you know, at AAA, you got. I said, wait a minute, how the hell am I going to worry about the mental part of the game? I got to spend 2 months teaching this kid, a AAA guy, how to hold the bat. You know, so learn all those things while they're young, and it'll be a lot easier for them as they get older. Okay?
I got a question again. I used to be a teacher, so I have a lot of questions. What's wrong with the 200 here? I used to love facing 200. He showed up. Hey, make sure you bring your roommate. He's in about $150, and make sure those 2 guys show up for you.
I grew up not liking pitching.
I used to take people out to dinner. Another question. Think about hand size for a minute. I got big mittens. And if you're coaching little ones, think about how you run a baseball from there. I should have brought a softball. So it'd be the same for you trying to grab a softball. You're trying to grab a softball, like you monkey ate that sucker. You ever played softball, you're just monkey eating it. Trying to throw it is kind of tough. Watch small children. They're trying to grab this thing, and their hands go about right along here, and they're just kind of doing the best they can. You watch young kids' mechanics are all basically the same. They all throw their, here we go, we pull flat. Here's the clock to about 9 o'clock. Their hands, because what's happened? They're trying to hold on to the ball, and so by trying to hold it, this is the best way. They're basically throwing it something like this to hold on to. What I would encourage small children, if they haven't get a grip in being a pitcher, feel is everything. It's how's the ball feel in my hand? Is ask the kids to basically think of a fork. That way they can hold on, even with small hands, they would be able to hold on to the ball a bit better. And by this way, they get, and then as their hands get bigger, their hands will eventually, their fingers will slide off, you get to the 2-finger grip. But the idea is, for small children, teach them how to grab it. Because, throw the ball. Again, we go, everybody knows how to throw a ball. You just go over and monkey eat that sucker and you chuck it. Well, that's the idea. So the idea is you kind of help them work with like a fork and have them try to pull as close to 6 o'clock as they can, you will see more of a natural mechanics for kids. All right, depending on your size, pitching. Most important thing they can do is like throw strikes. How do we throw strikes? And everything I'm going to tell you right now is wrong. I'm going to tell you right now. Because all you got to do is watch Juan Marshall. He didn't do anything normal. If you don't know Juan Marshall, look him up or look at Koufax. These guys are not your... I can't do what they do because I'd hurt myself. So you can always find somebody who throws those a little differently. But what's going on now is if you can be as smooth as we talked about with hitting, a natural position here. The foundation is the same, but how you get there is completely different. Some guys are blessed with arms that can flat out get on it. Oh, I wish I had one of those. And some guys are lucky they're left-handed. You should have been a pitcher. One of those kind of scenarios. So for me, what I have found the best way to teach small kids to throw is they start with their hands high compared to low. I like high hands. Hands together, high hands. So if I'm a pitcher, my son was taught, you put your foot in the rubber, you're already facing your target. I'm going to throw it right at you. Hands high, make a Y. Take a step, let it fly. There's your mechanics. But I'll add in what you're used to seeing. Hands high, pause, 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 break, now to the plate. And what you're going to find out with small people, most people, when they miss, they'll miss up and away. Up and away. Up and away. If they're throwing up and away, I guarantee they're not breaking their hands. What they're basically doing is getting here, their hands, what we call, get stuck in their holsters. They get here, uh-oh, I lost my balance. Because if I walked over to you, sorry, I got to get out of your picture. And if I push him, what does he do? He naturally fights to be balanced. And whenever you go to throw a ball, if I do this, I've lost my balance. I got to do something to correct the balance. And so normally, as I flatten my arm out, my elbow drops, I push balls all over God's creation. So to teach kids, there's a proper way. Teach them just to pause. Hands together, pause. Pause. Notice I lift my leg. I lift it. I don't swing it. Lift means it stays the same speed. Marshall, I mean, he would kick that mother up here somewhere. He would fling it. I lifted it. Pause. 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 Break your hands. Take your front heel to the plate. Here I come. Here I come. It's consistency. And like Paul said, that's the basic stuff. How you pull, where you pull. If you want to throw sidearm, you pull a flat. That's a completely different mechanic. You want to throw this, you throw a different. But what you're going to find out is that with young kids, is can they just stand on the mound facing the target, tell them to break their hands, now go to the plate. Start here, break your hands, now go to the plate. If you get them to do that, they throw more strikes. We talked about balance and coordination. A drill we do is get a piece of 2x4, make it a little bit longer. Have me stand on it as soon as I get my balance, and then throw me balls. Here, throw me a ball, will you, please? I'm balanced, throw me a ball. The idea is you have your players stand on the 2x4 and just throw them baseballs. Not zap them, but what they're doing, they're learning, because a lot of kids of today don't ride bicycles like we used to, because it's the only way we used to get around. They don't play games, they don't run. We've all heard those stories. They don't run around enough. They don't play jungle gyms enough. They don't ride bikes enough. Well, it's called kinetic awareness. It's being aware of your body parts. Balance, coordinations, pause, break. Can I go do all this stuff? And by helping them, teach them how to play hopscotch. Think about hopscotch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Teach them jump rope, the old jump ropes. Those are all little natural things that the more coordinated you get, the better athlete you become. For whatever sport. You know, like you play basketball, football, baseball, and everything else, probably track. I bet you didn't ride in the car very often. So what happens, the more you are actively involved, and then it's a little drill, doesn't cost much, go to somebody's building the house, go find 2x4s, and just have kids sit there and just throwing balls. They just learn how to catch. You'd be surprised how more coordinated they become. So it is all about the little things, teaching the little kids the little things. And remember the age of rubber.
Right across the street.
Simplify, 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 simplify. And that's when it comes to pitching or catching or hitting. Simple is, as we would say in coaching, the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, as they get more advanced, they can do different things. But the idea, if you get your kids, hands are higher, pause, break your hand, and go to the plate. Pause, break, now to the plate. Pause, break, now to the plate. It's not pause, go to the plate, break, and you get running into some problems. So there's a sequential order for all the stuff that takes place. Is everybody?
I want to say one more thing. Can I use that?
You can sure.
Okay. Now you heard from two of the better hitters than me, but I'll do another approach on hitting, because everybody is not the same. When you go to teach the young kids to hit, sometimes you don't change his procedure. You adjust to him the way he hitting to make him a better hitter, because he's comfortable in that zone, so make him even more comfortable. And like me, everybody talk about today, and y'all might agree with me, that all your coaches tell the kids, hit the ball deep. Young kids cannot understand hitting the ball deep. All your young kids, when they stand up to the plate, that's the beginning of the plate there, they'll stand here. You watch all your hitters, college or high school, whatever, all of them is up here in front of the plate. They tell you hit the ball deep. What's deep? Now if the ball gets here on the plate, how you gonna hit this ball? But to do that pool hall swing. Drop the back shoulder and lift it. My theory is, sit back on the plate, because if you stand up here, a man that's throwing 75 miles an hour, now he's throwing 85. If he's throwing 85, now he's throwing 90, he ain't nothing but a 70-mile-an-hour pitcher. So why you want to make a pitcher that much better and you can't hit him? My thing is to stand back and watch the ball. Wait. I don't care if you change up, whatever. If you balance, like they say you balance, and sitting on the ball, you can hit anything here. And then when you throw your hand here, you hitting the ball out front. Now watch when I do this. See where I'm hitting the ball? Here. Instead of standing back here and sitting and wait till the ball get in your zone here, then my swing, not their swing, my swing is, see the head of my bat is? Right there. If you throw the ball outside, I wait till it get there, and I'm here, and it's going to right field. So standing in the plate means a lot, especially when the kid is coming up and young. You don't want him up here, because the little pitcher can't get the ball over the plate. You know, up here, you want him back here so he can see the ball a little bit longer. You know, that's my theory on it. You know, and they got their own theory. Everybody got your theory. Whatever comes from, like we was talking about your hands. Now my hand, I'm here. My bat is in my fingertips. Because if you do this, and go watch this arm here. If I do this and I go to hit the ball, and the right swing, look, see how tight it is? When I get here, I'm even tighter. So what happened to this bat? It slows down. So me, everybody got to do something to pull that trick. Me, my hands is right here, and I'm moving my hands. When he get here to pitch, I tighten up just a little bit. Now when I swing, my hand is still like this, but when I get there, I'm hitting it because I'm using that hand. Because if like this, you can't hit nothing. So, like I say, everybody is different. That's me. Keep that hand loose. When you go through that hitting zone, you whipping the bat. That way, this way, throw it in here. Yanking. Well, that's why I'm sitting on hit. That's my theory. You know, like I say, everybody got their theory. You have any questions? I'll leave it, put it back in.
We're talking about hitting. Infield play, okay? It's kind of real quick. Once again, it all starts with your feet. All right, it all starts with a good athletic position. No matter what we do in baseball, whether we're hitting, whether I'm pitching, or whether I'm out in the outfield, it's athletic, and in the infield, it's athletic. Everything stems from that. And you'll have multi-sport kids and stuff, and just people say, hey, how do you guard that kid? Or the kid's a running back. He's not standing here waiting for the ball to be stuck in his gun. Kid's a linebacker. You probably got a lot of football kids, tough kids. Kid's a linebacker. He's just not standing back there trying to read some hole. No, he's in that athletic position. It's the same with baseball. It's the same with playing in the infield. You're in the athletic position. Start off with maybe slightly wider. Okay, so you can go this way, you can go that way, you can drop, you can go back. So, but just ground balls, certain ground balls. There's two. This is all very, very fundamental, very elementary too. There's two hops that we want to try to catch. It's the long hop, the one that's probably hops right about there. That's a nice long, easy hop, or it's the short hop. It's the one that's in between that most of the errors are creative. Okay, even on a bad field especially. But if it's a bad field and you're able to get the long hop or the short hop, you can eliminate the bad hop because there's not much room for it, especially with a short hop. So kids really working their feet to the ball, staying low to see the ball, the actual round ball, staying down with it. So those two hops, I'm missing a lot of stuff, believe me. But here's some basics. How do they catch the ball? They catch balls like this, or they catch them like this? Here's the key. Your waist, pinkies, thumbs. It's that simple. The kids really relate to that, right? If it's below your waist, pinkies are together. If it's above your waist, thumbs are together, okay? Now you're not gonna, like if I'm standing here and the ball's on my waist, I'm probably not gonna catch it. I mean, I can go pinkies, okay, at their waist, or I can go thumbs if it's up here. But now I lowered myself and I elevated the ball to where I can catch the ball like that, okay? Especially on feeds, or like, you know, turning a double play or getting a force play. The kids at first base, you know, he can catch the ball like that. So pinkies, thumb, okay, by rule. And kids understand it because it kind of sounds really kiddie, you know, to be honest, okay? Coming through the ball. Momentum, if you're playing shortstop or on this side of the field mostly, the momentum wants to go towards your target, let's say it's first base. So the ball's hit, my last steps are going to be going through the ball, so I catch the ball and my momentum continues. Now, the best way to teach these kids is not to use a bat and hit balls at them. It's just to roll it from about 15, 20 feet. Just roll it to them. If you're on this field, you're pretty safe. Okay? Probably not going to get any bad hops. You might get some weird, you know, some topspin thing on a certain ball. So if you're on your normal field in the neighborhood, that's probably got all kinds of rocks and stuff, just roll it nice and easy so they actually catch the ball, okay, and receive the ball. Out in front, glove. Try to stay away from this because now I can't see. Now if it takes a bad hot, yeah, we'll hit their hand or something, but I can't see the ball. I see it on the side, so now I have visual of that ground ball. Okay? Have you ever heard the term, you know, the funnel? You take it into your belly button? Okay, forget about that. Okay? Now, it can still be the funnel, but you don't have to take it all the way into your gut. Because if you take it in there, it's lost. Take it in here, somewhere between here and there, and have them get it up. All right? If they bring it into their gut, that's fine. You know, they'll bring it back out. But if they can be more free right out here, then they don't lose sight of the baseball. Okay? Palm up. If a kid has a glove curl like this, take that sucker and take a hammer to it and flatten that thing out, man. Flatten it out so they got more room for that ball to get in their glove, and it's a lot easier to get out. Okay? Curl thing, I never liked it. Never at all. My gloves are always pretty flat here because it was in and out, in and out. So momentum, rhythm. You have that ball, Dan? Do little drills. You know, just spreading them out and just have them put the glove and then just securing the ball. Just little. Start out with little drills so they get really comfortable. Okay. Now, step over here. This is a great. Find a place. If you have a place that has a wall like this, has a cement wall or something, just get them here. Just have them throw it. Just catch. Throw and catch. Just spread out over and over. Encourage them to go home and, you know, not to use a baseball. When I was a kid, now I'm older. Bingo. Use a tennis ball in the garage door. Put some marks, but it will spray off. You know, Dad's gonna, you know, Mom and Dad's gonna get pretty. They're not gonna be happy if it's a baseball. And they're putting holes in the garage door. But a tennis ball, just that's how kids, believe it or not. Oh yeah, that thing. Then you really have to have soft hands because this thing's, you know, really, really bouncy. But kids don't do this enough. I'm telling you, they don't. Kids can self-teach themselves just by throwing a ball against a wall, putting the ball on the tee and just whacking it, or, you know, using a tennis racket. And the kid throws a tennis ball. We used to use tennis rackets because the ball went further. You know, when you hit it, there's really no substitute for just kind of letting a kid be creative with the ball and the bat or whatever. So try to, tell them to put that stinking game, whatever, hide that stuff. I was a bad parent because my kids didn't have that crap. And it was happening then. I said, I bought this house, got an 1.5 acre backyard. I bought this house because of that acre in the back. And get your sorry butts out there and go run around or, get into trouble or something. It's not trouble, but you know what I mean. Encourage your players to get out there, have some fun, create a game, and stuff. Because they'll be your best guys because they're natural. Become natural. Here's one last thing about playing catch too. That I really think it's a great idea when your kids are warming up. Okay, try to now. I may get some booze and stuff. Try not to get them like this and do this stuff warming up because you really don't do that in the game. Just have them play full catch right from the get-go. All right, now they got to stretch. You got to do active stretching and all that stuff. But have them get a little momentum and boom, throw the ball. Cut the isolation stuff where you just have them play catch, hitting each other right in the chest from a distance that they're able to keep the ball on the line. So they're playing good catch, all right? Now here's something you can mix in. You can be creative. You got your infielders. When they're catching, instead of just stand there catching the ball or whatever, have them get in a relay position. So the guy's throwing the ball, and he's actually working on a transfer for a relay. No, he doesn't have to throw it on his end, but just the footwork. Okay, and then he regroups and he throws it back, and the other guy does the same. Or maybe the other guy, when he's catching the ball, he's putting a tag down. See, so now he's playing catch that actually has to do with the game. Okay, now I know you're just happy that they catch the ball and they're not chasing it and stuff. But the 13, 14, and 15-year-old kids should be able to do this. So have them do a couple relay, have them get a couple tags. Middle infielder, second baseman's can even, the guys throwing to him, guess what? I can work on my pivot on a double play.
Hey Paul, do you recommend anything? We got a bunch of guys here, got some 10U coaches, got some 12U coaches, 18U. A difference in the age group, or is it all the same for all ages?
I would say the older group. I mean, you can do this with the younger group. I used to have my youngest son 10U team doing this because otherwise they were just out there, unless I was right there, which we can't be the whole time, right? So have them have some creative warm-up catch where actually the receivers actually do so. The guy's the catcher. You stick him down, the guy throws the ball and he can come out. He doesn't have to throw it, but he just works his feet. So this way they're kind of getting something out of. I used to have my college guys do this. It just made total sense just to get something out of it, and then they're kind of working on something different. But create simple drills. You don't have to fungo. You don't have to hit them rockets. So you can roll them nice ground balls so they have success. Throw them balls when they're in the outfield. Let them drop step. You just throw them. Let them drop back and get to the spot so they have success, and then graduate up to where you're hitting balls up with the fungo, or you're taking live kind of inner squad where the kids actually, hitting the ball because you're throwing it in there and the batter hits it and then the fielders can. But start from point A, B, C, D. Not starting in the middle of the alphabet and trying to advance to what kids can't do.
I was just saying, open it up for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.